Hello dear students, welcome to this class of BA part first, uh, English literature. And dear students, today we will discuss the second paper, that is prose and fiction. And in this, today we will discuss a novel by George Orwell, and the title of this novel is Animal Farm. Dear students, as you all know, this novel Animal Farm is a great political satire, and uh, it is a satire on revolutions. And in this novel, George Orwell, he has focused his satire on the Russian Revolution of 1917. The purpose of this revolution, it failed as communism, it collapsed. The Russian Revolution of 1917 was inspired by the ideas of German thinker Karl Marx, and uh, Marx, he wanted to bring about a change in the social, political, and economic conditions of the common people. And by this, he inspired Lenin, and the Russian Revolution. It took place in 1917. The political conditions of Russia under Tsar were very bad, and he was an autocrat who did not give any kind of political rights to the common man. So the revolution, the rebellion, it was against the Tsar. The economic condition of the people, it was very poor, and uh, considering all these things, Lenin started a revolt against Tsar in 1917. The purpose of the revolution was achieved. The Tsar was thrown out of the country, and the Communist Party came into power in Russia. This revolution, it promised a society based on the principles of equality, liberty, and fraternity. But after the death of Lenin, these promises they were not fulfilled, and a conflict for power, it took place between Stalin and Trotsky, and Stalin became a despotic ruler. He exploited the Russian public in the same way as it was being done uh, by the Tsar. There was hardly any difference between him and Tsar. George Orwell, dear friends, he expresses the bitter realities of the Russian Revolution, and also he focused on the principle of animalism. In this novel, he says that the dreams of old Major, they were not fulfilled. He says, Orwell says that I was, Orwell, he says that this revolution and the rule of Stalin that followed was a despotic rule. Orwell presents the real picture of the revolution through this animal story. The animals, they represent the Russian working class who lived in very bad conditions. They had no rights, and even their basic needs were not fulfilled. They had to work very long for longer hours and from morning to evening, but they were not given their due share. In this novel, Old Major, a pig, he dreams of a golden future for the animals, and the condition of these animals was so bad that the people of Russia, as it is compared to them, they were exploited by their own owner. And here in this, it was Mr. Jones who represents the Tsar of Russia. Old Major inspires the animals to revolt against cruel Mr. Jones. All the animals, inspired by his speech and his song, Beasts of England, organize themselves as one, and their leaders, Napoleon and Trotsky, Napoleon and Snowball, the two clever pigs, they fight bravely against Mr. Jones and drive him out of the farm. And now this farm and manor farm is named Animal Farm. The animals now they think that they are independent, so they think that they should have a code of conduct, their own code of conduct, and it should be followed by all. So they carve out their code of conduct known as 7 commandments. For all animals it was declared, and these commandments became the guidelines and constitution for the animals. The 7 commandments, they were to be followed by all. These commandments became the guidelines and constitution of the animals. These principles of animalism, it covered their faith and belief in independence. And these 7 commandments, they were based on the teachings of old nature. Now, dear students, let us discuss them one by one. Let us know what these 7 commandments are. The 7 commandments are: first, anyone that goes on 2 legs is an enemy. Second, everyone that has 4 legs or wings is a friend. Third, no animal is to wear clothes. Fourth, no animal is to drink alcohol. Fifth, no animal is to kill each other. Sixth, no animal is to sleep on bed. And the 7th commandment was all animals are equal. So these principles of animalism, they clearly highlight that anything that goes on 2 legs is an enemy. That is man. Man is their enemy. Now, all the animals, they started following these 7 commandments, and these principles, they promised a spirit of brotherhood among the animals. And the animals, they felt themselves now equal. They were one in every respect. Now, animals, they believed that they now will have their own constitution and they would live happily, and there would be no hunger and no exploitation like it was during the reign of Mr. Jones. These principles, they are just like the Communist Manifesto. And these principles, as it was designed on the Communist Manifesto, which tries to create a society where there would be no gap between rich and poor, and everyone will get equal opportunity to work and own the resources. Thus, all the animals, they now started thinking that now they would live a life of dignity and respect, a life full of dignity and respect. So these 7 commandments, dear students, they were agreed upon, and now the rulers, that is Napoleon and Snowball, they had their own disputes, and Snowball was made to leave the farm, animal farm, and Napoleon, he became sole ruler of the animal farm. He hired the services of Squealer, one of our very clever pigs, and he asked him to amend these 7 commandments time by time. Squealer, who was very clever, he just used to erase these commandments, and the 7 commandments, they were turned into one, and it was that all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than the others.